Hey, ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday, October 17th. If you're new to the group, welcome. We are studentloanjustice.org. We are the first, the oldest, the largest, and really the only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. We are of the borrowers, by the borrowers, and for the student loan borrowers. So spread the word about this group if you would, please. We are kind of the center of the universe in the actual fight for student loan justice. So we're fighting for two things, guys. We started the conversation about student loan cancellation. We saw what Biden was going to do. Cancellation is now on the shelf. What is far more important than any loan cancellation we're going to see from President Biden right now is the return of bankruptcy protections to these loans. I know if you're new to the group, you're like, I don't want to file for bankruptcy. That's terrible. We've been doing this for many years, guys, and please take my word for it. The absence of bankruptcy rights lies at the heart of this problem. We're not going to see anything meaningful from President Biden or anyone else until and unless we get the leverage of bankruptcy returned to us. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. It's a terrible thing to have to do. And few people should have to when we get the right returned. Just getting the leverage of bankruptcy back in itself is what is needed to actually, not pretend, actually solve this problem. And if you don't believe me, read up on it a little bit. I would recommend strongly you look at our most recent, one of our recent articles. And if you go to studentloanjustice.medium.com, somewhere in there's an article that says bankruptcy is critical or something. Read that article and you can see the history of this problem and why, whether you would ever or never file, everyone with student loans has got to get bankruptcy back. Remember, guys, this, as a more practical and pressing matter that is very real in your life, the loans are going to be turned back on January 1st. Very good chance. I think it's probably going to happen at this point. Most people are not going to pay on their loans when they do resume the payment program, the repayment. Most people, my best guess is that something like 80, probably maybe even 85% after a few months will not be paying on their student loans. The student loan collection industry, it is their golden unicorn. They want nothing more than for these loans to be turned back on and for bankruptcy rights to remain gone. We will be served up like turkeys at the Thanksgiving dinner if we don't get bankruptcy back. So, don't be distracted. I know a lot of the other groups out there, they haven't said even a word about bankruptcy, and that, quite frankly, is suspicious. And I could talk about that a little longer, but I'm going to save my breath. Put it this way, guys, don't be distracted. What's important is bankruptcy, whether you would ever or never file. We've got two bills. We've got a Senate bill, S-2598 in the Senate. We've got a House bill in the House, HR 9110, HR 9110 in the House of Representatives. Both of these bills are sponsored by the chairman of the House and Senate Judiciary Committees, Dick Durbin in the Senate, Jerry Nadler in the House. The bills are very well positioned, ladies and gentlemen, and we've been fighting for bankruptcy for decades now. We've been around for 17 and a half years, and we have seen every trick in the book. And the trick that they would love to play on us yet again is to foist a fake loan cancellation gimmick on the people, such as what we just saw, by the way, as a cheap substitute for the constitutionally enshrined bankruptcy rights that should have never been taken away. So we're glad you found us. Please spread the word about this group. More than anything, please spread the word about the absolutely critical need for returning bankruptcy rights to these loans as they exist for every other loan in the country, for every other borrower. So I've got a couple of announcements here, guys. First of all, I have to ask everyone to donate, please. I'm sorry that I have to ask, but I have to ask. We can do what we do on very little money, like a couple $1,000 a month. We cannot do it on nothing. We're the largest citizens group in the country. We've got over 1 million people, but when it comes to fundraising, it is very difficult for us to do. So please, so I can shut up about it, we need 18 people to donate $10. That's $180 that we need to raise just to see us through this week. And we've got some pressing expenses. I hope you don't mind. It's really cold. It's starting to get quite cold here in Wisconsin. So I'm going to turn on my heat. Hopefully that doesn't mess up my broadcast. Couple of other announcements that are a little more fun. There's a beauty contest, glamour contest thing going on. And if you look there, we have 2 people in this contest, both Lisa Ansell, and you can vote for her at this glamour contest at that website, votefab40.com. We also have another person, Christina Belfiore, in the competition, and you can vote for both. By the way, strongly recommend you vote for both. You don't need to pick and choose. You can vote for free. It's you need Facebook, which most people watching this broadcast are probably on Facebook, so it's not hard to do. But please do it. I think Lisa's in 2nd place. I think Christina's in 6th place. They're both right up there, and they're bound to make the finals. And both of them are talking about fighting for student loan justice in their profiles. So it would be very good to marry these 2 worlds, as unlikely as it may sound, of student loans and glamour and fashion and stuff like that. So please vote for these women. And if Christine happens to be here, or if anybody knows what the link is to vote for Christine, please post it, and I will maybe look for it if I get a chance before the end of the broadcast. So our bills are perfectly positioned, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most critical week in the 17-and-a-half-year history of our organization. The bills are sitting there. They could be passed. In the Senate, S-2598 has already been through committee. We are waiting, eagerly anticipating the House hearing for H.R. 9110. And the sooner the better, like for the Democrats and the Republicans both. We are watching both parties very carefully. By the way, we're a nonpartisan group. If you can't tell, we pretty much hate both parties at this point, in different ways, though. It's sort of interesting. It's kind of a good cop, bad cop thing. But I'm gonna keep tonight's live stream rather short, folks. I've been going on a little bit too long lately, so I'm just gonna get right to the questions. If you forget everything I said tonight, please remember, if you actually want to help in this battle, and you must help, by the way, we will fail if you don't help. These are your loans. This is your problem. And I don't see these bills passing unless and until our members, not anybody else, our members, you, me, everybody in our group, actually fights for these bills. That's just a fact. This legislation wouldn't even be around but for the efforts of people on this group. We wouldn't even be talking about student loan cancellation, by the way, by executive order, but for this group. So this group is very important. In fact, it's way, 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 way more important than it probably appears. I know I've got this like a distressed, tattered hat on. That's actually for a reason. These are purposely distressed SLJ hats that Lisa Ansell, speaking of Lisa, designed. So thank you for that, Lisa. So there's a method to the madness. But yeah, guys, this is all about you. This is all about you and your loans and your problem and whether or not you are going to help us fight. You know, we are all the pioneers and the veterans. This group right here, we're the only group in the country fighting this fight. And the other groups, frankly, are full of shit. Pardon my French, but we've been doing this for many, many years, guys, and we've seen all the tricks and the traps. And we see some very suspicious signs with the other one of the other groups is straight up corrupted. And there's yet another group does business with the collection industry. So we have very good reason to question their motivations. And suffice it to say, I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't get distracted, and hopefully you won't either. There are so many distractions out there right now. Everybody's going, "Oh, am I going to get my loan $10,000 cancellation? Am I going to get my $20,000 cancellation? Oh, what's going on?" Yeah, no, don't even trip on that, guys. 95, if not 98% of the media out there about student loans, it's a distraction. Biden's loan cancellation was lame from the get-go. It's even lamer now than the day he rolled it out, and it gets lamer and lamer by the week. These lawsuits that Republicans are launching to stop cancellation, all that bullshit does not matter, guys. The only thing that matters is whether or not we get our bankruptcy rights returned at long last by the end of the year. Because if we don't, we are completely and utterly screwed. Our legislation will expire, and we are back to ground one with who knows what Congress is going to look like. I can tell you this. If the Democrats don't return bankruptcy by the end of the year, there are 38 million distressed student loan borrowers in the country. And this Biden thing didn't really blow too much wind up anybody's skirts that I talked to. You know, the people who are hurt worse by these predatory, viciously weaponized loans, they don't give two shits about a $10,000 write-down. That's like nothing. That's like interest in a year for a lot of people, certainly on our group and nationally either. But that's what we're going to get as long as bankruptcy's gone, guys. That's how the game is played. We can't let them win. And for the first time in 17 and a half years, we finally have a very real shot at getting our constitutionally enshrined bankruptcy rights back. This will be an historic occasion when this happens. And it'll be a great problem to have. And very good things will happen after that. But it's a moot point unless and until it happens. So right now and through the end of the year, we've got to fight. Quite frankly, I'd like to see the Democrats return this thing through the bills that I just mentioned by election day, by November 8th. 38 million distressed borrowers vote. And there were some people who were quite impressed with the loan cancellation that Biden announced. I think of all the people who were super jacked on that when it first came out, I think maybe half, maybe a little less than half, maybe 40% of those people are no longer jacked. They're like, "Oh, I'm not getting it," or "Oh, I'm going to get taxed on it," or "Oh, it's messed up application, etc." The Democrats need to do a lot more if they want to come through the midterms and not get pummeled. On the other hand, the Republicans are very seriously flirting with snatching defeat from the jaws of victory because of the student loan issue. Now, I know I'm biased, but guys, the numbers don't lie. 38 million distressed federal student loan borrowers. There's probably another 4 or 5 million distressed private student loan borrowers, but we're only talking about federal student loan borrowers. 38 million people is nearly enough to elect a president. Not quite, but it's close. It's a huge amount of people. And we vote. And the Republicans for the past 3 months have been doing everything possible to wag their finger at the borrowers. And by the way, more than half of student loan borrowers, majority of student loan borrowers are either Republican or independent. You wouldn't know watching, Fox News, where they portray us all as being a bunch of young, woke, liberal, blue-haired, protesters or whatever. That's nonsense. That's not reality. And the Republicans appear to be divorced from reality at this point. But it's hard to tell the future, but I know that right now, if there was ever a way for the Republicans to screw up these midterms, it would be exactly what they're doing right now on the student loan issue. I'm sorry, it's just disgusting. So the good news is on the Republicans, a bunch of conservatives have written articles in the past month and a half, maybe 2 months, all calling for the return of bankruptcy protections to student loans. That's never happened before. That is really something. I mean, that's a very significant bit of evidence that I just presented to you. Historically, Republicans have opposed us publicly, and all that opposition has gone away. So I'm telling you guys, we're in a perfect position, and the only thing that I see that's missing is you. I mean, truly, guys, really, we should have 100,000 people a day just amongst the members of our group. We should have 100,000, like that's 10% of our members. We should have 100,000 people a day doing our daily actions. And that's the point that I completely failed to make. I'm sorry. If you forget everything I say tonight and you want to help, the best use of your time is by doing our daily actions right there. We do daily actions every single day, and they are tailored for the times. They are very, they are very strategic. Let's just put it that way. If you forget everything I said, remember, at a minimum, you need to be doing our daily actions. Do our daily actions. You need to do our daily actions. Do our daily actions. Do our daily actions, damn it. It's important. I wouldn't be freaking out if it wasn't extraordinarily important. Right now, the sausage is being made, guys. All the important phone calls are happening. All the important conversations are happening in Capitol Hill right now. And guys, I don't know what else I can say. I shouldn't have to say anything to get you off your ass and helping. And to those of you who have been helping, you know I salute you. And I know there's been a ton of people who have been helping. And I think all of them to a person would tell you it feels very good to fight this battle. It's cathartic. The founding fathers are on our side. It's very extraordinarily important. It's nationally important, not only for student loan borrowers, but quite frankly, for anybody who holds consumer debt. Because I'm telling you guys, there is a dark, dark, dark history to this country, a dark cabal, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but there are people in this country who would very happily conquer and enslave the citizens of this country in debt. And if they can get away with what they did to student loans with other loans, watch out. We will see bankruptcy similarly removed from medical debt, from who knows, you name it. It's basically carte blanche to the lending swamp if we allow this precedent to stand. So it's far more than just us that we're fighting for. And remember, guys, it's also 45 million people in the country who we actually are directly fighting for right now. 44 of the 45 million people who don't know about us. So like I said, spread the word about this group. I'm not kidding you. You have no idea how important you are. You got to be an ambassador here, guys, because like I said, we're the only group that's fighting this fight. And this is the only thing that's actually going to get us free from this cancerous, weaponized debt. Don't believe the other groups. They're full of shit. They're never going to convince Joe Biden to do more than he's already done on student loan cancellation. Ain't going to happen. And to those of you who don't plan on paying, hey, I'm all for not paying. In my humble opinion, nobody should ever feed another dollar into this weaponized, nationally threatening lending beast. Not another dollar. But at the same time, guys, I'm not stupid. And I know January 1st is rolling around. And I know that the trick that's been played on us in years and decades past is ready to be played on us again. Where, think about it. The collection industry has gone without money, without doing what they do for years now because of COVID. They are sharpening their knives. They are ready to pounce. And it's going to get brutal. It's going to get fucking ugly. It's going to be a bloodbath, pardon my French. If January 1st comes and we do not have our bankruptcy rights back in place from where they should have never left. Okay, guys, I'm looking for your comments now. I'm sorry if I went on a little too long there. There it is. It's kind of hard for me to find my Facebook videos sometimes. I don't know why. But I hope you guys are pleased. I hope you guys like the song, by the way, that police song. We are watching very carefully. There are some key members of Congress that we're watching. People like Republicans, like Senator Ron Johnson, like Marco Rubio. And then on the Democratic side, some fairly key, Matt Gaetz, again, Republican. These are key people that we need to push, and we are pushing. Ted Budd, who's running for Congress, is it Georgia, North Carolina? These are very bad people, not the previous three that I mentioned, but Ted Budd is a bad guy. If we can get Ted Budd to co-sponsor our bill, we are really doing something. I mean, and I think it's possible, guys. I'm telling you, some very conservative people, there's been a conservative groundswell lately for bankruptcy. So there's some smart Republicans out there, and if they do the right thing, then we'll be home and we'll be free. And finally, we'll be able to move on with our lives. Okay, I'm getting to your comments right now. Doug Grossman, how are you, Doug, from Indiana? Last ditch effort, folks. Do your daily actions and more. That's right, Doug. We're in the home stretch. We're in the final 3 months, October, September, October, November. We are in the final 2.5 months of the life of these extraordinarily important bills. And if we screw this up, we're going to be screwed, guys. We don't want that. You don't want that. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want that. Eugenio, government is in too big of debt, dangerous debt. SLR income for the government. Yeah, I think you're like I said last night, Eugenio. I think you're way too afraid of the government than you should be, Eugenio. Everywhere we go, the bad guys, including people in government, they hide and scurry like cockroaches. You know, we broke the news. Just one example. We broke two examples. So in 2007, I was asked to give a presentation at the Education Writers Association of America, which I happily did. I showed up. They also invited Sallie Mae, who at that time was technically not part of the federal government, but they held way more sway with the federal government Department of Education than they do today. They were also invited to speak on this panel that I was invited to and agreed to speak on. It was at a conference in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill. I said, great. I showed up. I was there. I sat on the panel. Sallie Mae, the big billion-dollar behemoth corporation / hybrid government entity, which it was in the past, they pulled out of the entire conference because they were afraid to sit on a panel with me, little old me. Can you believe that? I'm not kidding. It's true. One more example. I mean, it happened everywhere we go. All the government people, all the lending people, they disappear. Like it just happens all the time. We are on the right side of this fight, and the bad guys know it, Eugenio. So I think you're, I always say, the people in the government, the people running this lending scam, they are way more afraid of us than we should be of them. And like I said, guys, we've never been closer to actually getting actual justice for these loans. And remember also, we have the Department of Education. We have the Secretary of Education, the Chief Operating Officer of the Federal Loan Program, Richard Cordray. We also have the Undersecretary of Education, James Cavall. All three of those guys, three biggest guys at the Department of Education, all have committed to stopping opposing student loan borrowers in bankruptcy court. Now, it's kind of a workaround for our legislation. It's something that they can do administratively. We've got them all on record multiple times in some cases as saying, yes, we are going to do this. Now, they haven't done it yet, but that doesn't matter. We've got them on the record saying they are going to do it. So I would recommend, Eugenio, just help us fight. Because regardless of anything external, there's only so many things that you can control. What you can control are whether you fight or whether you don't. And quite frankly, sitting here on this group saying, oh, it'll never happen, that's not very helpful. So yeah, guys. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I think I'm looking at last night's live stream because I had this conversation with Eugenio last night. Oh no, what's going on here? Where is my live stream? I was trying to get a little aggro. Sorry, Eugenio. I hope you've been doing the daily. Okay, here we are now. I see Vanjie Unruh is there with us tonight. Is there a cat behind me? What's going on, little kitty? I've got 2 kittens that are up for adoption, by the way. If anybody wants a kitten and you live near Northwoods, Wisconsin, that are up for adoption, by the way. If anybody, there I am. Okay, sorry guys. Let's get into the present, shall we? Let's not live in the past. I was talking to yesterday's live stream. Come on, comments. Load, damn it. Waiting for the comments to load. Hopefully they will load. Let me just do a quick refresh. I saw Vanjie Unruh's here. I see quite a few other people here tonight. Okay, hey, there we are. We have a ton of comments. I'm sorry if I can't get to them all. Lisa Ansel from California, Los Angeles, and who you should vote for. Lisa is asking everyone, what has everyone done today to advance our cause? Yeah, I want to know that too. You know, sitting here watching me, that's not doing anything. That's not moving the ball forward. That's not doing anything. We are not here for your entertainment. This is a working, fighting group, guys. Working, fighting group. What kind of group is this? Is this a working, fighting group? This is a working, fighting group, guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to be flip here. This is a working, fighting group, guys. Honest to God. I'm doing stuff every waking hour. Lisa, I know, is. Kara Rodriguez called Tracy Mann, Roger Marshall, Jerry Moran, all key people in this fight. Joanna is a freaking trooper from Florida. She is probably our most dedicated student loan justice warrior, certainly with regards to our daily actions. That for sure is true. So I applaud and salute everybody out there who's doing stuff. If you're not, you better kick to the curb whatever psychological impediment is stopping you from fighting for your own livelihood. The bad guys, the opposition, they want you sitting there doing nothing. They want you waiting. They want you watching. And they want you worrying. And they want you wringing your hands and wondering. And they want you reading all the bullshit in the media, Forbes magazine, etc. We need you here fighting. We need you to forget about all that bullshit. Quit being distracted, pardon my French, and help us fight. And the minimum that you can do is our daily actions, bit.ly/daily action. Or just go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, and you can see right at the top, the daily action. And if you've never done a daily action, do 2 weeks at least worth of our daily actions. They go very quick, very easy to do. Lisa says the SLJ hats were my first foray into merging student loan justice and the fashion industry. That's right. I never thought about it that way. Is this fashionable? I don't know. Hey, Terry Dodd's with us. Terry Dodd is another tried and true fierce and fearsome and feared student loan justice warrior. Hey, Terry, good evening. The daily actions will not do themselves. There's no magic wand to make these loans go away. So fight with us or get out now. Right. If you have no intentions of helping us fight, just hit the brakes. Honestly, I mean, we don't need you here. You're dead weight. You're doing nothing for us. And you're not better than us, by the way. You are not. Stop it. Speaking of fighting, go. Cat just climbed up my leg. We need you fighting, guys. This is your fight. And if you're not fighting, you're going to get fucked. Pardon my French. I'm really sorry about that. But we've been doing this for too many years to be, dancing for you, because I'm not here. Lisa's not here. Terry's not here. Vanjie, we're not here to entertain you. This is a fighting working group, as I already said. So I'm not going to belabor the point. Lisa also says, please follow Kyle Parrish on Twitter. Good point. Kyle Parrish in North Carolina, Parrish. He is running against one of the most evil people in the country. In fact, the worst person in Congress on the student loan issue, Virginia Foxx. I would love to pull a rabbit out of a hat and get that woman out of office. Joanna from Florida says, thank you. It is my privilege, Ellen Collins. Well, thank you, Joanna. And, I think most people on this group will completely agree. It feels very good to fight this fight. I sleep like a baby at night. And, we've never been stronger. We've never been closer. And I think we're going to do it. I'm guardedly, cautiously optimistic. And it's been forever that I've ever been able to say that. But here we are, guys. So, okay, guys, I'm sorry. I still probably went on as long as I ever do, 32 minutes. All right. Get ready, guys. Tomorrow is just a massively huge day. Every day through now to the election is going to be a massively huge day. And you have got to step up. For God's sake, please help yourself. Please help the country. We're a better country than this. And we need to show up. Because this is our battle. This is your fight. These are your loans. We need you. You have no idea how important you are. So Ed, our fearless co-leader, will be with you tomorrow. I will be here with you on Wednesday. Please vote for Lisa. Vote for Christine. Please donate. Anything helps. Good luck. Godspeed. God bless everybody.